Hey everybody, welcome to Fact Axis. Today, we're going to be going over the top 10 most unusual longest body parts in the entire world. Make sure to watch until number 1, because it will surely shock you. Number 10. Girl with the longest legs. Standing at over 6'9" is just a mere 16-year-old girl with the longest legs in the world. Her legs actually equal out to about 1.3 meters in length. Now that's pretty long. Luckily for her, she stopped growing after 9th grade, and she's rather thankful and struggles with her height to this day. Despite all the other challenges that come with being extremely tall, like fitting into cars, houses, finding clothes that fit properly, etc. Luckily, her hopes are pretty high and continues to pursue positivity and a lifelong career in modeling. Number 9. Chef Boy Bonez. Within the last couple of years, a new record holder has claimed the title for being able to bulge their eyes the furthest from their head. Well, remember this lady? Yeah, that's Kim Goodman. You might have seen her on the internet before. See, she previously held the record for a 12mm eye extension beyond her eye socket. A rather impressive feat. But Chef Boy Bonez has got her beat. Discovered through social media by popping out his eyes and then pouring Windex and lemon juice on them whilst poured out. Another very odd feat indeed. But unlike Kim Goodman, he's learned to actually make a character out of this. Bizarre set of talents. Let's hope it gets him far. He seems to be enjoying the notoriety quite a bit. Number 8. Isaac Johnson. Meet Mr. Isaac Johnson, only 15 years old and hailing from Minnesota. He holds the record for the largest mouth gape possible. Well, who knows, he might be beat eventually. But right now, he's sitting at 3.67 inches. Fitting everything from golf balls, tennis balls, oranges, and who knows what else. He seems ultimately unstoppable. He's even looked further and seen just how much food he could fit into his mouth. Since there's something clearly going on with his jaw. I mean, is it gonna grow apart further the older he gets? What can't he fit into his mouth? Number 7. Duangjay Samaksamam. Sometimes medical conditions can be completely life-altering, even more so when they're permanent. That's exactly Duangjay's case. Her condition has left both of her arms and hands extremely swollen and permanently, making the slightest movements very difficult and rather painful. Living in Thailand and raised in a rural village, she spent much of her time in her young life as a deep recluse, afraid of ridicule and other worse things by her condition. Well, because of this, she never went on to go to school, nor did she ever marry. At 25, she has pursued surgery to try and lessen the effects of her condition. Today, she's living with her sister to try and have some normalcy to her life. Number 6. Julie Felton. Julie Felton stands, quite literally, at about 6'5" and wears a very impressive size 15 shoe in the UK, which translates over to 15 and a half over here in the US. Julie, who holds the record for the world's largest feet on a female, has to have specialty-made shoes, just for her to wear. Her right foot alone measures 32.9 centimeters. Wow! Her left foot is just slightly shorter by only a couple of centimeters. The now 50-year-old was married in April of last year at Anfield, Liverpool, where she got to wear special wedding shoes designed just for her. When her then fiancé stepped forward before the wedding to the press, a company stepped in and decided to help the couple address their big wedding issue. She had no wedding shoes she could fit into, so they stepped up to help. I bet you could imagine, shoe shopping is probably a nightmare. Also, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more amazing top list videos. Number 5. The world's largest hands. It only makes sense that after the largest feet, we'd cover the person with the largest hands, right? At 50 years old, he sits on the world record for the largest hands. I mean, look at him. They look swollen, they're so large. He is the real-life Popeye. His hands are measuring 49 centimeters in circumference. This means that his hands are large enough to hold an entire basketball in each hand. Genetically, he's not known to have any abnormalities, nor does he suffer from gigantism. Interestingly, he actually utilizes a flip phone instead of a traditional smartphone like you or I, simply because the screen is just too tiny to use. He says you just have to learn to use what you have. Well said. Number 4. The world's longest tongue. The longest tongue in the world belongs to 24-year-old Nick Stober of California, measured at 10.1 centimeters, clearly having the longest lick. He claims that the biggest downside to having a tongue this long is having to spend extra time brushing his tongue in the morning. Coming close to second place for the longest tongue is another girl in California. Hers extends a total of 9.7 centimeters, so very close to Nick's. She also seems to have a wider tongue, too. After all, everybody's body is different. Number 3. The Chinese Chang. What started off as just a pimple has led to a completely oversized malformation in this poor man's chin. At 47 years old, this man holds the title, the world record, in the entire world. Of course, not by choice, unfortunately. Due to his severe swelling chin, he would need surgery that would replace his entire lower jaw. This, of course, is far too out of his price range, sitting at about 5,000 euros. To combat this and raise the money, he is offering to sell advertising space on his chin. The poor man, however, is in agony when it comes to eating and drinking, and since they're not only painful, but very difficult to manage. Hopefully, this video can help raise awareness to his condition, and that others out there who are more fortunate can help him seek help through any means. Luckily, he will be able to see that light of day if he continues to raise enough money and finally get the surgery he desperately needs. Number 2. Ryanna Williams. Ryanna Williams holds the record for the world's longest fingernails. You might have seen her before, featured before on talk shows and things like Ripley's Believe It or Not, or maybe other parts of the internet, since her record isn't exactly new. But she's still holding strong on keeping her title. In fact, in total, the length comes out to a whopping 18 feet all in all. That's crazy. Being on multiple talk shows, she's sort of become famous for her crazy growth. Some see it as completely disgusting, while others, like her family, are pretty used to it, so it's completely normal to them. Unlike most people, they can have their nails painted in a very short amount of time. It can take Ryanna up to an entire week to have all of her nails painted. In fact, even as far as making a cup of tea or coffee, or even putting on her pants can prove to be difficult. Can you imagine other tasks of life? Like driving, showering, or just using your phone? How does she manage with those nails? Well, not to worry. She says she'll cut her nails down eventually, but she's more than content at the moment, having no one to contend the world record with. Number 1. Anshu Kumar. Plagued by a mysterious medical ailment, causing him obvious deformation of his skull shape. This has dubbed him the alien by his own local village. Anshu Kumar from India is actually suspected to be suffering from multiple illnesses, but doctors can't exactly be too sure. It almost looks to be that during skull formation, his skull somehow attempted to split off into two from the looks. But either way, he's still pushing through and living life. Due to his other conditions though, he has difficulty standing, is not able to fully grow hair on his head at all, and has trouble having complete and full vision. Anshu is currently waiting to seek treatment to see if there's anything that could be done. And while he doesn't make near enough to cover any treatment because of the low-end job he works, earning only £50 a month. However, he's very hopeful that the Indian government will step in at some point and come to his aid. Like others on this list, he wants nothing more than to just live a normal life like everybody else, as best as he can. That about wraps up today's list. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like and comment your favorite part. As always, be sure to subscribe for more great amazing top lists. I'll see you all in the next video.